Okay. Hold on, I forget if the OSL is the one where we can't talk in the intro.
And the Food Fighters have killed 5!
Nothing can be done to stop Eternal Vanguard!
D5 puts them down for the deicide, and the sewer get flushed away! Food Fighters say put the diamonds in the bag! The Scepter of Dominion! Everyone freeze! A quadra kill! He's gone! Who's up next on the chopping block? Is it? Yeah! It's a quadra kill!
Hello, one and all, and welcome. Sorry, D'Lo.
Not who
it's
I
my
am.
turn up in the seat. No, it's okay. It's okay. Hi, my name is Moonmellows. That guy over there is D'Lo, and welcome to the Olympus Smite League Season 9 Athens Division, baby. D'Lo, how you feeling?
Silly, but I'm feeling good. It's good to be over here, whether I'm in C1 or C2 chair. It's all good Smite. It's all good action, especially here in OSL at the top, the peak, the pinnacle, Athens Division, baby. Woo!
Indeed, and you know what we got here for you in the Athens Division today? It's the Warriors of Albion versus the Wailing Banshees. 2 undefeated teams, by the way. Not no longer after this set, but when we're talking about standing, let's go ahead and look at it. Top of the echelon, it's the Warriors of Albion, the Wailing Banshees, and the Food Fighters. Still, the only 3 teams who are left undefeated.
And that just means all that more pressure, all that more ego as well attached to it. I always do like to see some top dogs trying to battle for that top spot. But we'll see who ends up getting dinner scraps and who ends up getting the whole enchilada here today. Wailing Banshees was a team that last season ended up really surprising me in some crazy upsets against the Boo House, I recall. So they're always headed by good leadership. Unsurprised to see that continue here. But one thing that does make all these sets here at OSL unique and amongst Smite competitive right now is the Vault Ban system. What that does mean, as you can see on the screen, is if you pick a god, for example, a Thor, you're not going to see it for Game 2. You're not going to see it for the hypothetical Game 3, though bans do need to be consistently refreshed every single time. So it keeps things a bit more interesting. Anyone who's a one-trick, you're not a one-trick no longer.
Got a deep delve into that God C that these characters, or these players, seem to have, especially up in these upper echelon of players. If we move our way into picks and bans, and some big names on both these teams to those people who aren't aware of these rosters. Mainly, though, I'm looking at Kaveka and I'm looking at Kaidan.
Understandably so. I got the privilege to watch a bit of Kaidan action yesterday on Hydrogen Bomb for Smite Prime, and gotta say, that is one to be fair on the Morgan Le Fay, a pick that they really do prefer and enjoy. Daji ban comes through here, the Uller as well. Daji's interesting because I've heard on the outskirts in the tunnels that she's taken some hits to her damage. However, still enough of a prevalent threat that clearly WoA does not want to see her. But in terms of what we're thinking here, as far as the gods that are really high priority and really scary, it's anyone who can abuse tankiness, anyone who can really abuse a Shifter Shield. I've been seeing a lot of Gilgamesh be run to very scary extent here. Guy just does not die if you get a few kills in the pocket. I think of things like Achilles. I think of things like Osiris. There are a lot of picks that are more on the solo lane side of things that can even flex into jungle that you got to watch out for.
It's a tank meta. Tanky boys are definitely prevalent. The Shifter Shield, we see so many. Buff it up. Too many of the tanks. A wall. But Sasano also not seeing this game either. Looks like WoA is putting a lot of pressure into Layers, and don't blame him. That's a guy, old SPL caliber, has made a name for himself and recently in Prime. So, still a lot of bans going his way.
If you're going to take something away from Layers, it should be the Thor. His Thor is one of, if not the best, I think, of all competitive Smite at the moment. It is genuinely insane. But yeah, you're right. We are deforesting completely. Like, get the data centers in, cut down those trees, no jungle for you. Bastet and Sobek, last bans for Wailing Banshees. Unless WoA top picks Thor, I think that instantly is going to be a top lock for Wailing Banshees, solely off the basis that you really want Layers on a pressure pick.
It's also a really good pick, as you mentioned, with that Shifter Shield. I feel like if your god can pick up that Shifter Shield, he can lock it in, run it down, and Thor. I mean, even in Smite 1 days, that guy was rocking that item.
For Deities to be the first lock here, that makes sense as well, I guess, in a tanky, sustained meta, but I don't think she quite is the top meta threat that I think she was a couple patches ago. Wailing Banshees, in my eyes, there's got to be a Thor, and maybe you lock in that. Nah, Morgan Le Fay is not even necessary to get for Kaidan right now, but I'm not going to lie, Moon. I think drafting the Afro top really opens you up to some vulnerabilities. You could draft an Opwash in against her, but instead it's the Chiron, so some sustain of their own right for the Wailing Banshees, but surely it's got to be the Thor next.
Hopefully. We're waiting for it. The drums are rolling. But Chiron, we can talk about what we do like. Big artillery hunter. Sits all the way back there and is throwing damage on your dome. You don't like it, but you love to play as it. And one thing I do want to ask... Oh, never mind. There's the Morgan Le Fay that you wanted for Kaidan. But more into... Chiron has two styles of play, right? That's his +1 in coming in here. He has the ability build, where he's like lobbing out big chunks of damage. And then there's also the auto attack build. Which one do you prefer to watch?
You shall not
I always enjoy auto shred, but we were just talking about the green room, how ADCs don't really feel like good ADCs anymore. They're really not getting off that much damage until maybe late if the game gets that far. Giannis and Apollo, global rotation ability here for WoA. I do like the mobility. I do also like just Giannis in general. I find them to be a fun god to play. And it really gives a good kick in the keister to WoA's ability to make some big ganks without Wailing Banshees seeing it coming.
Horus now hovered, and if that's locked in, I'm very scared for the WoA team. And in fact, it was. Horus is incredibly strong right now. When paired with an Artio, that's a front line. That's the two tanky walls you're going to have to get behind. But if you're going to try and do it, Giannis, not a bad god behind it. That god has built-in flat penetration. The flat pen is feeling great. Also percent pen. Giannis has been a top pick, top ban recently, so I'm surprised it got let through.
Bane's name of the game, baby. It seems that for both sides, Horus between the Protector Surge, Ardio's got that life tap, and Chiron, of course, also has the medicinal herb kit in their passive that heals up the team as well. Some sneaky sustain as well as some overt from Wailing Banshees will make these fights a bit more of a battle of attrition than WoA could expect, especially given the fact that some of those heals are AoE as opposed to the Afro, who kind of keeps it confined to her one soulmate. Tsukiyomi and Jormungand are the final locks here for WoA, so we know that Apollo is indeed going to the carry position, Suk likely to that jungle. Yorm in the solo up against what I imagine is an Artio here. I've got to say, that doesn't sound like the most fun here for the bird, or the bird lady. Hoi Yi going to be the carry lock going to be the jungle lock for Wailing Banshees. Interesting. Layers I've seen operate on this before as well, but I've got to say, I'm surprised not the Thor. Maybe we're keeping it in the back pocket for the next game.
Yeah, don't forget Vault bans, so we might be able to see the Thor as we go into here. But hey, looking at these two comps, kind of surprising, especially Layers on this Hou Yi. I like a good Hou Yi jungle. I think it's fun. I think it's exciting. But for me, it feels like it's really hard to start off fights until after you're like 5 items in.
I'm taking a look just across at what this Hou Yi is going to offer off the rotation of a gang. The 3v3 core, right? It's going to be a Hou Yi Horus alongside this Morgan Le Fay. I do like the fact that they've got quite a lot of good CC at the very least to try to keep this Giannis in place, especially now I consider it the Artio as well. This Giannis is going to be, of course, hugging these walls, but I think Wailing Banshees actually have a pretty decent composition for lockdown when you consider the fact that Apollo's got a dash. You consider the fact that Giannis has got all these portals. Jormungandr can get out a bit more easily, but there's actually quite a lot of roots and stuns that will affect the immovable god himself. So I'm liking Wailing Banshee's composition, honestly. I think they've done a pretty decent job responding to WoA. The one thing that both these teams are going to need to build, since none of their kits have it, and that's anti-heal. It's just a curiosity of when as opposed to if.
Tanks are good. Sustain also feeling pretty good. But you know what feels even better? As we make our way into game number 1. Warriors of Albion versus the Wailing Banshees. My name's Moonmellows. I'm joined here by a lovely D-Lo. And our eyes in the sky, making sure everything is fly, is none other than the Nova Shark. And D-Lo, a quick glance around. We're not seeing anything wacky. So as far as Smite 2 goes, this seems pretty standard.
Take a look across the relics then. I see 3 aces here for Wailing Banshees, and that kind of does point out a minor weakness, I guess you could say, for WoA, though I will say, not the worst. Their CC. It's a lot of single target. You have the AoE Mez from Kaiveka, but Kasari Gama off of a Tsukiyomi is not the most intimidating in that aspect. It's really the portals from this Giannis that you could imagine pulling beads, which is why Wailing Banshees will have to be careful where they place their precise toes, but I like the Zagus pickups. It does leave a bit of a vulnerability. On the other side, of course, WoA, a bit more split down the middle. Some beads picks up. Here's for the Tsukiyomi as well as the Apollo, so you don't have to burn those CC Moon ultimates in the wrong spot. Whereas the Aegis for this Giannis, that Aegis for that Giannis does mean, though, that there could be some potential, again, for these ganks. I'm looking for that to be a potential weak point, to be abused here by the Banshees. We'll find out, though, as the early game ticks on forward.
Ilkem Kenny is very... I like seeing this guy play. I like seeing him get online there, and especially on a Horus. It feels like he's able to just run at you, laugh at you while he does it, and you didn't build beads on Giannis, so guess what? You're going to be stuck for a solid, like, minute or so if he runs at you. Butt Lover.
Oh.
Taking a lot of damage. I was just talking because I was like, solo laters, they don't do much, but whoo, he just took a lot.
Butt Lover, not loving this one bit. This is not fun. The sustain of an Artio is very frustrating to deal with. Not Aspect, so she can, of course, fluidly swap between the Druid and the Bear form, which is good. Access to all the CC, access to all the sustain at the same time. I've been seeing some people experiment with the Aspect, but I think that this is certainly the better way to go. Also got that Bumbles. I'm bumbling it. Bumba's Cudgel here, which is a bit interesting, seeing a solo laner step up with that. Tsukiyomi says, you're copying my drip. Guess she really just wants to keep up with the extra buffs on the next attacks. She does have so many abilities after all to just kind of utilize for it. Tsukiyomi hovers on the left side, potential gank, but you can tell the Wailing Banshees are trying to keep this plane safe. I don't really imagine there's too much kill pressure in this duo unless there's a jungler with some divine intervention. A lot of dashes.
If you step forward, it's just going to be difficult to try and get a kill here. And both people are able to get out of the duo lane. But on the meanwhile, look at Layers just kind of being like a sneaky little rat throughout the jungle. While Nog was backing in, like, left, like, their jungle, Layers was stealing your back camp. So he's certainly playing aggressive and just really playing the map pretty well.
Makes sense, man. Tsukiyomi, kind of a pushover, right? You can kind of just sneeze at him and they're not going to be able to do too much. That Piercing Moonlight's all their real mobility. That's why they got to try to get ganks off like this.
We have the Artio dash, and Chimer is just trying to get to his Layers the best they can. Stunned on out, this bear might be in trouble, but Layers is here, and the stun is as well. Forces out the beads. Some good healing from between the two of these, but Butt Lover is here, and he's got the kill. Nog grabs first blood for Woa, and Layers has to dive bomb on out of there.
That's great, man. Getting that kill on Artio after how much pressure she was leveraging on Butt Lover, you're loving it. It feels good if you're this Yorm. You can see that the Hui's trying to maybe get back a sneaky link, but the Artio does not have a fast TP, so Layers is more so just kind of babysitting this minion wave, which does mean that the first layer of rocks is going to go down to the side of Woa. That feels amazing. Those adaptive stats, of course, can be very handy in the pockets of either the Yorm or the Tsukiyomi. They don't get a blue buff invade off it, but honestly, really solid start. Clearly the solo lane is going to be a place to look at.
It's a good start, 500 gold between the both of these teams now, and that's still negligible, right? Banshees, they're not out at this point, but doesn't feel good to lose those rocks, especially look at the Yorm, who picked them up. Already top of the player damage charts, and I'm not going to lie to you, D'Lo, I wouldn't be surprised if that never changes.
Yeah, Yorm can certainly output a hefty amount of damage. Even in this tank meta, you cannot underestimate the amount of DPS these suckers can do. Level 5 here from Mini Delvin. I honestly would have liked to see a gank come in from the Tsukiyomi, or rather, sorry, from the Hoi Yi on that left side before the Afro becomes so annoying, since she now does have an additional mobility option with that Undying Love, allowing you to TP to your soulmate, especially with Apollo having so much mobility in their own right. We'll see, though. Hoi Yi's still ambling on over, maybe trying to look for this blue.
Harris is here, but so is Gokam Kane. The knockup is good, and the Suns are also going to be in tow. Undying Love forced on out, and, well, Layers held on to his Suns, so instead the Banshee's just going to settle for that neutral objective.
All right, we'll take it. But would have been nice to get that maybe just a minute earlier so we can get the kill. Nonetheless,
yeah,
it's just me harumphing and hurrahing. It still was a pretty solid work to get Mini Delvin a bit lower. Aphrodite can be a very abusable character if you're able to get a few kills on her in the early. And that's good, because you want that get-out-of-jail-free card to have a stipulation. You don't want that to be around forever. You want her to force the Undying Love selfishly, not to save an important carry like that Apollo. Nonetheless, we'll see if we get additional pressure. I'd like to see that Hoi come back over. Maybe you'd like to see Butt Lover stay alive. Jesus. Protect yourself, buddy.
Yeah. I mean, Butt Lover won the first fight in this lane, and then look at his health bar. You can't even tell it, right? I mean, Timer 1K ain't looking too healthy on the back-end side of it, but these two supposedly quote-unquote guardians, even though we've gone away with that term here in Smite 2, still do a bunch of damage to each other. But look at Layers and Kenny. They're the first ones to step up to these rocks, and uh-oh, Nog is here as well. It might be time for another fight, D'Lo.
We got Bacon stepping up as well. This could be a bit dangerous. Maybe hesitating a bit too long around it. Unstable Vortex actually steals away one. It also gets really solid damage. Jormungandr arrives just to contemptuously spit at the Hoi to the skies. Apollo's doing the same thing.
Apollo's like, I'm already here in the skies, and Mini Delvin as well. Kaveka has to land down because he has no more fuel left in that tank. Gas prices are high, so he's just going to land on down. I like the aggression, right? We got some rocks for both two teams, but also they're playing quite safe here. Buttlover steps forward, tries to play some aggression on Timer 1K, forces out some Caltrops and some damage. Shell's already been used, and up into the World Serpent. Not even needed. Timer 1K is off the board.
Jazz hands for the sake of jazz hands. They're going back in. I don't know. That could be a bit of an overcommittal. Horus does not have ultimate, but Horus is still around. Trouble in the waters?
Lairs, be careful, buddy, because the Suns are raining on down. Buttlover taken out. Lairs picks up that snake. And Killcam Kenny is here, gets the stun, forces out the beads. And Nog, gotta be careful. Can you run away? You're slowed, but no more abilities. Bounce off the mark. So Nog lives to see another day, but the Banshees answer back.
Dude, you see the Legos are just like sticking to Horus's feet trying to get out of the tower? That must suck. As above, so below. I'm not gonna lie to you, God. You kind of did that to him. Buttlover's death's on your head. You gotta wash your hands clean of that blood from your teammates because you going back in from the bush. They were trying to hit the hot nasty back. They see Lairs step up. They're like, watch this. Buttlovers can't. They're dead. Unfortunate there since they had just gotten a really solid kill on the Artio, who is now down 0-2. But that bounce has been equalized a little bit. Yorm's in trouble.
Buttlover, he stepped forward and we were hiding in the bush. What are you doing stepping forward to your own lane? That's our territory, buddy. Lairs takes them on down. Timer 1K, hey, gets his first kill of the game, but the rest of WOA wants to make sure that doesn't go down for free. Artio steps forwards, gets the triple stun, but is stunned out in of herself. Locked on in and taken on down. Nog on a killing spree.
Dude, the rotation ability of this composition, thanks to this Giannis, is being utilized very, very, very well. I like to see that. The Apollo's willingness as well to take that chariot in the early stages of the game shows me that WOA is looking to play as 5. And, you know, 5v5. Teamwork or die. It all makes sense when you ask me. This solo lane, again, is receiving so much attention. Now both of these have gone down at least 2 times. At the very least, they already gets a kill in their pocket, though Yorm still bats a bit ahead. And you can see a bit of also some intrigue around these rocks once more. WOA going to be able to declare this lair theirs. The Gold Fury is being hovered at, and Horus?
Horus in the sky. Kaveka's been caught on out, and the beads are here as well. Centaurus shot stunned, and Kaveka no longer taken to the grave. The Banshees answer in the duo lane. And while Mini Delvin is just here too little too late, that kind of opens up a possibility for a Gold Fury, but no, the rest of the team isn't on the way, and now we're just staring at 2 solo laners basically breathing on each other.
Literally and figuratively. Phantom Shell forced out. Could be some trouble here for Timer. Though the Yorm doesn't really have any great CC to interrupt a dash. They know that could very well come right now, and there you go. That being said, in that last solo lane gank, we saw the fact that Artio's dash is very easily interruptible, especially by Kiss or a Mez. So you're going to have to watch Timer 1K be very, very careful, especially when you see this Apollo's coming on in.
2 ultimates used onto Kaidon through space and time and the Sunlit Chariot. WOA wanted to answer back, but we can't find nothing. So 2 big resources off the map for them. Look at their positioning. They're looking for a pick. 4 members on this left side of the jungle.
God, if you get 1 pick, the Gold Fury is certainly going to be up next. This gold lead has been really negligible, like you said, so far. Some Legos laid down, but nothing coming of it. A lot of good, honestly, zone control here from WOA's team. The Caltrops as well as the Portal, just places where you don't want to step foot for an extended amount of time. You can force Wailing Banshees into some precarious positioning. Curious to see if that ends up being their game plan. That being said, you have the Suns from Lairs, but a bit of a longer cooldown. But it's interesting that we finally got to see some pressure in that dual lane after that gank. I'm curious if that ends up being a repeat instance with these objectives now being of a bit more import. But so far, everyone's been kind of content to just let the junglers decide where the pressure lies. And I've got to imagine that's because we got scalers, baby. This Tsukiyomi is going to start building up stacks. We got this Hoyu who wants to get to late game. Chiron's got a Transcendence. Everyone's just kind of, you know, twiddling their thumbs for a little bit longer and getting some more rocks.
10 minutes into this game, and both teams neck and neck even, and both gold and kills. The Banshees up on the rocks, grab them for themselves, and we turn towards Buttlover, but this snake has the World Serpent, so we know he's fine for now, but still, it's a very even game, and that's exactly what I'd expect out of 2 undefeated teams.
There's some irony in the fact everyone's talking about like their fear of like a snake coming out of the toilet, like while they're like, you know, taking a squat. Kind of ironic that butt lover is playing the big snake.
No,
Just,
wait.
just
That's exactly where I thought you were going with that. That's
yeah, I know.
exactly.
Just some thoughts, I'm having here. Just big thinking, profound thinkers here. But let's think about this Tsukiyomi a little bit. 3-0, which does mean there's shutdown code available. But Horus not gonna be shut down anytime soon. It's a good protective surge to get back to safety. I like the fact that we're trying to contest this mid farm, but doesn't seem like anything too big is gonna come of it just yet. It's more of an appetizer, a little taster before the Gold Fury dance begins.
Just waiting to find that one crucial pick because honestly, both teams are a little too afraid to start it on their own, and
Yeah.
I don't blame them. The team that starts it just feels like they're on the back foot, especially when you have Bacon. We called Chiron artillery. Bacon on this Giannis, definitely that's artillery.
Dude, Doom Orb. They got Doom Orb. They're definitely going to be hitting hard. Look at that. Bit of the divergence of the builds. You see the cooldowns. Chiron loves this build. Like, just Chronos, Soul Reaver. It's proc slop. It makes sense. But Giannis, you've seen these unstable vortexes hitting pretty gosh darn hard. Tank meta who, says them. We'll see if they can make it put to good use, because you, of course, got to hit those combos. And again, I say, it's not going to be the easiest setup for you. You have an Afro Kiss, which is single target stun. And you're going to be relying on them to hit a lot of these portals raw. You're going to rely on Kaveka to get out of this one safe.
Kaveka's a good mez, but Killcam Kenny is here. Forces out the beads already, and Centaurus is used. Last shot off the mark, but Kenny picks up the kill all the same. We're under the tower. Can you get out? The shield is good, but Golden, we're looking at him. Piercing Moonlight does a bunch of damage, but once again, that Protector Surge. Killcam Kenny playing out of their mind to stay alive, and whoo, through space and time, clips Golden just a little bit, but everyone in the Banshees is still alive.
Dude, I don't know how Killcam Kenny stays up there. The Piercing Moonlight could not eat through enough of that to the Sky Shield. It's just so funny to see Horus just kind of like take a knee inside the tower. It's like, buddy, you're being actively shot at, but did not seem to care. Excellent work by Killcam Kenny. A bit of an itchy trigger finger from Golden, but the kill ends up falling down. Now it's Apollo's 0-2 to the 1-0 Chiron. Feels amazing considering that Apollo just needs to start building up that Transcendence that Chiron's already got stacked.
Look at the rest of the Banshees. They're already positioning around this Gold Fury, looking for yet another pick and another fight. Nog, gonna be like around, daring someone to dare and pull it. Layers is here just to put some autos on through, but still, the positioning from both these teams is fine, relatively safe, and not gonna start the Gold Fury. Well, now we do.
Big confirm, though. Consuming power, I suppose. Through space and time is down. So Kaido's got the option. Drop down to about a quarter.
Oh. The Suns rain on down, do a bunch of damage in tow, but we're still on the Gold Fury. Pop down to about 1k HP. Can you steal it away? Lair secures it for the Banshees, but now can you get out with your lives? In fact, Timer 1k is here, daring the rest of WOA to step forward. So we get the Gold Fury and don't lose anything.
Yeah, a large amount of that credit goes to Lairs. The Suns perfectly blocked the channel that WOA had to filter through, and really made it difficult for them to intercede that pathway. Yorm's going to get a tower here on the right side as well. Buttlover really taking advantage of all that space they've been giving. Though, of course, at the cost of a Gold Fury doesn't feel the best. Wailing Banshees now can hip-hop and hustle out of that fountain a bit quicker with that extra pip. It's an interesting story here. We haven't really got to see the solo laners take too much action in these grander scale fights. And again, I say, I think WOA's looking for the 5v5s. I think that's where they start to thrive. You can tell just by the way they've been playing so far already. They're making a lot of early rotations. They're scaling. 2 Transcendences, Doom Orb. Stacks upon stacks, baby.
Indeed. Timer 1k, though, might be caught out of position. No, that bear is fast. I don't know why I ever think she's in any danger. She can just run away from a man holding 2 knives. That would be terrifying.
It's not an issue because Kasarigama is a long channel before the stun happens. So there's no danger unless an Afro, Apollo, or Giannis is really around to slow her roll, so to speak. So you're just kind of fine. You are honestly completely okay with anyone trying to gank you that is not those CC-heavy characters. That being said, Moonlight Queen is spawned. You can already see the Wailing Banshees ambling on over around it. 1 kill on the solo lane side could very well result in that important buff going around someone's waist.
Looking for Killcam Kenny is around, just daring, trying to find someone to step forward, and there's going to be 2 supports staring at each other, using the Wind Sprite to stay safe. So just a lot of positioning game. Once again, these 2 teams playing relatively safe and also smart.
Nice.
Indeed, stun. But he's fine. He's fine. He's Horus.
Forgot that he's Horus. Dang it. How could I? Shifter's shield for everyone in this gosh darn game. Gosh darn it. Well, actually, hold on a second. I'll take that back. Not too many, but yeah, you might as well hover the item. It's ridiculous. Get ready to see it be used in this upcoming fight.
Queenlight Naga has been pulled by Woa, brought down to about half, but Killcam Candy from the skies finds himself a Delvin, uses that Undying Love, so it's fine for a little bit longer, but the damage is still in tow. Through space and time, though, doing a ton in the back, and Piercing Moonlight is taking them out. Butt Lover picks up a Killcam Candy, and 2 on the way. Nog is out, but 2 members from the Banshees are down as well. Delvin being ran at by Timer 1K. Lairs gets the kill, but the World Serpent is here to knock everybody up. Double kill once again for Lairs, though, who has the Aegis to stay alive. And Golden trying their best to do some damage on the back end side of it. The Banshees, they lose too, but Woa, they are limping, but not back home. In fact, look at Butt Lover and Bacon. In fact, now they have to get out, but the rest of the Banshees, they re-pick up the Queen Naga.
Nice, they secure it as well. Butt Lover only so quickly afterward realizes their Serpentine sister is in danger. Cannot do anything to their respect. Wailing Banshees push through, right? They lose the 1-for-2 trade initially, but then they continue on forward. Lairs actually continues to look for Mini Delvin, knowing they don't have that Undying Love. Very audacious, but ends up completely panning out since they get the additional 2 kills to make it in their favor and get that OBJ. Well done to their side. Woa, to their credit, do get a Moonlight Ritual in order to try to pull something from nothing. But the issue, again, is what we talked about before. Mini Delvin had to use that Undying Love selfishly, not selflessly, which means that you're not really enabling your damage dealers. And, of course, once her sustain dies, where is it? There's nothing else on the team. Wailing Banshees have a Horus, they got a Chiron, and they got that Artio. They got Kiveka? Uh-oh.
Yeah, Kiveka might be the next up on the chalking block, and, well, in fact, they are. Golden picks that one up as well. And 0-4 through space and time, though. Does some damage. Bacon trying to find someone, but
oh no!
Gosh, that unstable vortex does so much damage. Giannis, though, slippery little eel that they are, is safe despite the rotations.
That Doom Orb, it's no joke. You just got to be careful where you're stepping up as is Giannis, especially if there's an Artie around. Luckily, she hasn't made these rotations, so the cripple field's not something you have to worry about too heavily right now. Oracles is the new FG, it seems. Here comes Horus.
Killcam Kenny in the sky lands on down, and so do the Suns. Undying Love is used this time. It wasn't selfish, but it doesn't matter. Nog and Delvin both taken off the map. The Banshee's fine too. And you know, when 2 people are off the map, the next thing to get is a Gold Fury. 4 members already marching on towards it, and Lairs is just playing guard dog duty, daring Kiveka to step forward.
Dude, I mean, think about the 2 people that died. When your Undying Love is connected to a Tsukiyomi, you're not going nowhere. He's got no dash. That's just unfortunate. Another Gold Fury for free. Wailing Banshees, second pip up. And yeah, you really don't want an Aphrodite connected to the Tsukiyomi for that exact reason, unless you're batting from the advantage. And man, let me tell you, Tsukiyomi from behind feels rough. That's a god that is incredibly confrontational, much like a Kabrakan. Giannis is in trouble.
Trouble indeed. Being chased out by Timer 1K, but still, we're Giannis, we're fast, and we can get out of most danger pretty easily. We're about now 19 minutes into this game, and you talked about a Tsukuyomi from behind, but the entirety of Woa is now behind. No longer are we in the days of, ooh, lovely even land. 10-5, and now almost a 4K, excuse my math, a 5K lead for the Banshees. It's not looking great if you're a Woa fan.
Your hope is pinned on 2 players. It's on the Jormungandr and on Bacon, because Bacon's sporting a squeaky clean record. Yeah, they're a level behind, but that's about as well as you can do considering the circumstances. They're playing this Giannis very, very well. Can we get a little Doom Orb hover, a little hashtag Doom Orb hover here? Let's check out the stats in this baby. Look at that, John. Look at that.
Too many.
Yuck. It's big. It's big, man. It is. There's a lot of intelligence. That's a big brain robot right there. But Butt Lover could be in trouble. But they got a big brain ultimate to stay safe from any ganks. Mid lane could be where the real action's at. Mini Delvin taking so much poke. Dear God.
It might be a tank meta, but Delvin doesn't feel tanky just quite yet. Barely
No.
3, not like 2.5 items in, right? It looks like we're going for that Genji's now, so they take a lot of damage and don't heal for a bunch. The Banshees, though, look at them trying to make lemonade here in this situation. The Pyromancer have been picked up. Nog is here, but Timer 1K here as well. Stuns on out. That's one big bear. The Centaura shots raining on down do half of Nog's HP, so he can't even step forward. The Banshees, they get themselves a Pyromancer.
I mean, what could you do about that? What could you do about that? You had a start of the Kasari Gama. It's interrupted by the Furious Roar from the Artio. That feels terrible. You're a big channel. Apollo's getting pincered. This is not looking good.
Apollo, what you gonna do, Kiveka, because the rest of the team is on the way? Well, Amez is good to stop them in their tracks. Timer 1K can't even keep up with ya. And Butt Lover is here. So Kaveka fine for yet another time, but the rest of the Banshees, they're looking for more. They're looking for farm, or they're looking for picks.
Delvin, you need some arm candy, buddy. You could be in trouble. Jormungandr as well does have a Phantom Shell, but the Suns come crippling on down. And that's going to be the end of Butt Lover once more. Layers is just disgusting on this Hoi. 4-0. Such an aggressive pick. And does not take all that much time to get online if you are this piloted. So precisely. Another tier 1 goes down the left side. Ardio's stepping up a bit far, but just kind of to make space and bluster around. Yeah, Avenging Blade, man. King of the jungle. It's not an on her. It's this man.
Layers certainly knows how to pilot this sun god, and Woa kind of being ran at for it. It's not only Thor that this guy looks good on, I'll tell you that right now, D'Lo. Perfectly nice. And also, look at this. A Shifters and a Berserkers. He's like, you know what? If you can't beat him, join him. And he's going tank himself. The rest of Woa are getting aggressive here. Timer 1K has been gone upon. But you got to be careful because Golden is here as well. Undying Love forced on out. So Mini Delvin and Kaveka
here comes Morgan.
Safe for now, but the rest of the Banshees, they're en route. Kaidon trying to fly them around, and up into the sky goes Kaveka, but you didn't hop in time. Mini Delvin falls on down. Bye-bye, buddy. I stay alive.
Worst first date ever, let me tell you. He's got absolutely stood up there like, I'm not really feeling it, buddy. I'm sorry. Kaveka is going to instead link up with their late night booty call, Butt Lover, which makes sense thematically. Oh, that is just truly unfortunate. Again, Mini Delvin, it's an abusable character. It truly is. That Undying Love used at full health just to gain some distance doesn't feel great. And you're seeing that this effect is starting to take its toll. Woe wants to play as 5, but it feels like they're constantly getting called out and separated despite having a lot of global tools. Wailing Banshees just moving as a 5-man death ball when the time comes.
It's like they're choosing a new target to run at, like every 5 minutes. They go,
yes,
I want to run at you. Or Butt Lover, I want to run at you. Like, Bacon, I want to run at you. These guys are hungry for blood and making it look good. Now 12 kills as opposed to Woa's 5. They haven't found anything, but the Banshees want to keep pushing that lead. They're here on the Gold Fury. Falling down relatively slowly, though. Kaveka and Mini Delvin are here as well. Bacon decides to go to mid lane, and looks like Woa, the calm is to give it up. Delvin is the only one to step forward, and I'm not sure if he can steal it away with a couple of lovebirds through space and time. Doesn't hit nobody. We unleash the Gold Fury, but we're just dancing around it for now.
You can unleash those unstable vortexes through the portals, but not going to work out. Double ADC comp, by the way, is actually pretty gosh darn efficient at burning away, even if they're not building full attack speed, both of them. Here comes Horus to the skies, hunting for an Apollo that just luckily was able to back away. I love that. Just get silly with it. Honestly, to this guy is not even the best ultimate at the top level, unless you're just trying to kind of catch someone by surprise and drive by him. So I really appreciate they were kind of getting a bit wily with our positioning here. Butt Lover, in the meantime, again, I say, maybe with the best hope alongside his Giannis, because they've just been left to farm. Now, granted, that of course means that what has been oftentimes at a man disadvantage, but maybe, just maybe when the Snake makes those rotations, that's when the payoff is big.
And look at the Snake's build, going for that Ethereal Staff as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's a Soul Reaver in tow. Butt Lover gonna do a bunch of damage. And hey, damage check still at the top of the charts for his team. Specifically, I should mention Timer 1K and Golden also doing a ton in this game as well.
This Chiron's been very well enabled by a support that is able to give them easy training wheels. How many times have we seen Centaurus off the back of updrafts, off of these fractures, off these stuns and knockups? Aphrodite just doesn't have that. And again, it's a get out of jail free card with a stipulation that she's levels behind and 3 deaths down. Pyromancer being picked up here by Wailing Banshees. Bacon charges it up, lets it rip, and hits nothing.
No. It was a good shot, though. It was a good idea, but now that big ultimate is down, and the Banshees recognize that and go towards this fire giant. Woa is aware and available. Nog is stepping forward with his E-Dater Mini Delvin at his hip. Butt Lover going in, do some damage to it. The fire giant pulled down to about 4k HP, but the blink, the stun, Timer wants to get aggressive, and we're trying to secure it away, and in fact, we do. The Wailing Banshees get fire giant on all 5 members, and look at Kill Kenny to the skies, looking for a Butt Lover, who just sneaks away from it and out of it. We don't find the snake, but we're looking for a little bit more. Undying Love was used, but can we get the kill? Piercing Moonlight through the back end line of it. He's been stunned, he's been taken out. Nog is is gone for sure. Layers comes around, finds himself a Bacon who goes over the wall straight into an auto, picks him up on a rampage. Is this Hu Yi?
Run, Apollo! Run! They're coming! I just see a sea of red, but it does seem like they're going to be able to get out. Okay, Vacant in the meantime, split push down to left Phoenix. Auto speed would be proud. And honestly, I am too. That's the best play. I don't think they really had a good shot at getting that FG. That's the best Phoenix to take as well, but the issue is, I think an eye for an eye might indeed be the Wailing Banshees' modus operandi as they now lurk towards the mid-bird.
Well, what can you do to defend against the Banshees as 5 step into your Phoenix? Not much, it seems, as it falls down relatively fast. 2 ADCs, but they're more looking for the fight on the back end side of it. The stun is good, and Kaveka is daring them to step forward, but all the meanwhile, the Banshees, they pick up the mid-Phoenix, and they find a butt lover, but thankfully he's tanky enough to survive for now.
Kaveka's got this Sunbeam bow, and this is where, yeah, an ADC, like we said, hasn't been the best role lately, but Sunbeam bow does allow you to shred pretty decently if you're allowed to free cast, especially with Apollo having that passive doubled that auto attack speed. It can get pretty dicey pretty quickly if you let them kind of just free cast from the backline. The issue is, again, where's your peel? I just don't think there's a lot of it unless maybe Butt Lover's around, but Butt Lover has not been around all that late. Now they're going to have to link with the team since the rest of the squad is really in desperate measures. Left side bird being down, again, is more of an asterisk. It's not something that Wailing Banshees have to worry all too much about. Ancient Fury is going to come up soon. Still plenty of global gold available for the Banshees and 2 minutes of FG left to grab it. Got to imagine these towers are going to fall like dominoes rather shortly.
We're 27 minutes into this game, and rather than giving you guys a gold and kill up, it's 14-5. Wailing Banshees absolutely running it down. I think it's more important to recognize how many shifter shields are in this game.
That's
4
important.
on the side of the Banshees. Kaidon just got his, and Woa, they only have a lone singular shifter shield. It feels
That's why they're
lonely
losing.
there, don't you think?
That's why they're losing. I've said this before. The team with more shifter shields just wins. That you guys, you're selling. What are we doing here, folks? In fact, sell your entire inventories and buy 2 shifter shields, and then we win the game. Another Gold Fury. This time being taken up by Woa. Audacious, but I don't know if that's gonna work out for you.
It's down to about half, and Kaveka goes to the skies like a vulture looking for someone to land upon. But Mini Delvin takes way too much damage. The Undying Love was forced on out, and your life is forfeit, buddy. Kaidon picks them on up. World Serpent is forced. Butt Lover just has to get out of there, and they go, thank you for starting it for us, guys. We'll do the rest. We got it from here.
Yeah, just pack that up in a to-go box. I've got places to be. Ancient Fury goes down. Only going to be weakening towers since the mid-bird's already dead. Not the worst thing in the world if you're Woa. Doesn't feel great, though, that you also lost an Afro, and it kind of took some time that you could have been farming up instead on these waves. I just think that was too audacious. The time to grab that was a bit earlier when maybe Wailing Banshees had just hit their backs from FG. Now left bird is definitely come at a cost, and that lead that your Apollo brought you, it's been equalized. Let's see if they can grab it, though.
Giant's only going to be up for another 25 seconds, and Bacon and Nog, they do a bunch of damage, so Banshees can't quite yet grab that duo side Phoenix. Have to back off for now, and in fact they do, but still, like you mentioned, a ton of gold in their pockets now. Almost a 13k, still a 12k gold lead in their way. Banshees, it's almost their game to lose. What can Woa do to try and get back to it? I'll ask you that in a second, because we're still going back in. Through space and time is used. Kaveka gets the Pyromancer, but Layers finds himself some Bacon. Sunny side up, baby. Bacon taken on out, but Woa still not backing off. We do some damage on the Timer 1K, who's stunned on out. Mini Delvin, though, is the target of a lot of the aggression. He used a lot of damage, and Butt Lover goes up into the World Serpent, doing some damage of his own, but the Banshees, their health bars outside of Timer 1K look good.
Oh no, here comes Horus, baby. They got a bear right alongside them. Falcon and bear. The Apex Predators coming to look for Nog in this moment. Ricochet on top. One more auto will do it. Golden finds it. Nog is gone.
Nog is gone, and Delvin is the next to be picked up. Instead, we're running down him, trying to do the best we can. Layers is unstoppable. 7-0, and the Banshees march into the Titan room. The only ones left to defend is Butt Lover. It's Kaveka. Can they do it? They're certainly going to try in this moment, but that Titan, it's falling down fast. Killcam Kenny, Timer 1K, stunning abound, doing tons of CC, tons of damage. Butt Lover takes down a Kenny. Through space and time is off the mark, but oh no, can we end? It's not looking too good at this moment, but in fact, it is. Kaidon goes green, does bunch of damage. The Titan falls, and the Banshees win game number 1.
I was a bit concerned, I will admit, since there still was a tier 1 and tier 2 up in solo lane. However, persistence. It was really smart from Layers to attention shift over to Butt Lover, recognizing it's actually a lot easier for me to shred the Snake than it is for me to shred the Titan, and then go back to shredding the Titan after I shred the Snake. Good work. Yeah, you cut the head off the Snake, the rest of the body goes limp. That's how it goes. Butt Lover, I think, did a really solid job with the damage that they tried to provide. I just don't think this is a team comp that was ever prepared to play from behind. It's really a go, go, go kind of comp. Like, just jump out the plane, do it. But what do you do when you're on the back foot? You have to prepare yourself for that eventuality in some instances, and I just don't think this composition had really great answers to that. Again, Bacon was hitting hard when they hit, but it's hard to just kind of place down a portal and say, hey, walk in this, you know? We've all played Skyrim. We know what happens when you step on a big red button in the middle of a dungeon. Some spike wall is going to come at you and kill you. So they're probably just going to tiptoe around that thank you very much and go about their day. It's just unfortunate. Nog had a great start. It kind of petered off, and then once the Tsukiyomi's behind, it's very hard to climb back up that ladder again. I think that the team comp on the other side was just a bit more well-rounded, and that's why you see them get the game. Also, more shifter shields.
Indeed, that's what really won them there. That's what tipped the scales in the balance. They're really heavy for those balance scales. But listen, Butt Lover and Nog looked good this game. It was everyone else that you kind of mentioned that just didn't really fall to the wayside. Bacon, when he hit abilities, it did damage, but just not enough. And also, unfortunately, Woa's duo line was 0-9. Not a single kill for either two of these. So really hard to find a good setting into this foot when you're against Killcam Kenny looking as good as he did in that one.
I mean, dude, also, let me say one thing about, what was it? The fight. The last fight. So the way that Bacon died, right? Bacon hits a really good through space and time, and it whacks like to the backline. The issue is we're no longer in a one-shot meta, right? We're in a meta where, like you mentioned, the Hoi is building tank. That like half-health Layers. It was a great through space and time in theory, but in practice, you full kit dump him, and he's still alive with plenty of health bar to keep on slinging that bowstring. And now you're on the front lines with no way out. It's just unfortunate. You needed to either be super far ahead for you to ensure that one-shot potential, or you needed to be in a context where not everyone's building frickin' shifter shield. It's just gosh darn unfortunate.
Well, don't worry about it if you're a Woa fan, because they're not done just yet. This is a best of 3 vault ban, so all 10 of those gods you just saw, we won't see them when we get to game number 2. And when's game number 2, D'Lo? Oh yeah, right after this short break. One and all, and welcome back to the Olympus Smite League Season 9 Athens Division. I'm still Moonmellows. I'm still joined here by Adilo, and the Wailing Banshees just won incredibly convincingly.
Yeah, it really did look like a bit of a shutout. There were moments of glory at the beginning. Nog had some good ganks, was 3-0 in the Tsukiyomi, feeling good. But then you noticed they're never ahead in levels. They're not really ahead in farm. And that's because Layers is playing that Hoi pick very aggressively. On the bright side, you see those 10 gods down below us, they're gone. That's because it's going to be vault bans, so you don't have to worry about any of those picks. But it does mean you've got to worry about that Thor still. And I imagine that Woe is going to continue to try to shut out that jungle. It makes sense, so just get rid of the dodge, you get rid of the Aladdin, which, I'm not going to lie, I don't think I've seen Layers play that Aladdin in the first place. But hey, no sense in worrying about it. That god can be oppressive when put in the right hands. Uller ban again, because once more, with vault bans, you still got to make sure you refresh the same 6 gods if you want to see them gone.
Surprised that the bans aren't changing for either two of these teams. Obviously, Woa should be the ones changing things around a little bit, but instead, all 3 junglers just taken off the board. We want Layers to be uncomfortable as possible, and at least don't want them on these good picks. And the Banshees, they say, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Uller, Sobek, Bastet also taken off the board.
I can't be mad at Wailing Banshee's concept. I think Woe have got to take away Thor. They top lock the Afro, right? Mordred actually, okay, I'm very okay with that. That can be played jungle or solo, but it's typically obviously solo. And it's, again, a very good abuser of Shifter's Shield. That character can live forever. Butt Lover was doing pretty gosh darn well in the Jormungandr, which, in honesty, this is more of a personal gripe, but just, I've never been too big of a fan of Jormung, the appeal they offer, since it's really only the knockups. And they're pretty interspersed. Mordred, I think, has just a lot of good CC and just is kind of a walking time bomb. Has so much amazing gank potential as well with Pursue the Weak. Wailing Banshees, though, you know what I want. Give it to me. Give me the Thor.
Come on, excite Dilo so we can scream about it. Jingwei, that's kind of like Thor. You go in the air and you do come down eventually. But Jing Chen, that one is one I completely went out the window. That guy's available this weekend from the streets say he's pretty good.
Yeah, it's true. I've been mostly seeing him be played typical, and that makes sense. Xing Chen's got a lot of great CC setup. It's very much so the opposite of what the Afro were talking about before. It's AoE CC, AoE roots, AoE spin to win, Hecate and Neath. Huh. And some big circles there for Woe. I don't mind that. Again, AoE CC, but it needs some setup. I want to see a support that very much gives training wheels to these 2 picks to allow them to get their damage off.
We saw Kaveka go this kind of Transcendence Sunbeam bow build of days past, and I wouldn't be surprised if he elects to go it again with like an Aspect Neath here. That's just a build that I like and enjoy. It feels fun. A bunch of yellow numbers, a bunch of damage, but hey, when there's big damage in one team, Poseidon's going to be selected, and with a Cerberus, is this Xingchen going solo?
The Xingchen could be going jungle with Aspect. I don't know. That'll be insane. I really don't think so. I don't think that would be something that Layers would do. But Cerberus, I have to imagine, is going to be in that support role. I just think they pair very well with Jingwei. A lot of knockups, a lot of annoyingness. Poseidon, though, has so much room to work with. Oh my god. Again, training wheels, right? What's better than a Stygian Torment or the root from Xing Chen or a spin to win? There's so much depositioning beads burning here for Wailing Banshees and not a lot of CC immunity here from Woa, right? Neath's ultimate, Hecate's ultimate. They're both going to be in a lot of trouble if they can't position properly.
I am terrified to think there's a Xing Chen who loves pulling my beads, and then if Xing Chen pulls my beads, Cerberus is like, don't mind if I do, or flip it around. Cerberus pulls our beads, Xing Chen pulls you to the team.
Yeah.
Talking about beads burn, Woa picked themselves up a Hun Bats. So that's going to be looking pretty good here. Followed up by a Guan Yu for Delta, I can only assume.
I love that. That's good. That's really good. That's really, really good. Hoon bots. I like the Hoon bots. I like a Wheelix better because that completely counters out exactly what he wants to do. That sucks. Dude, this sucks. This is terrible for Woa. What the heck? Oh no, dude, Jingwei knockup, Xing Chen knockup. Xing Chen doesn't even need the ultimate. The root knocks you up. Oh god, Poseidon knockup. Sir, this is bad news bears, man. This is rough.
Layers on a storied pick for this guy, even back. I keep talking about Smite 1. I'm going to keep doing it. Layers played a lot of the Kitty Cat Lady in S1. Now over here on S2, feeling pretty confident here. And you mentioned it, the hook slam. puts him up in the sky. Come over here. Jingwei goes, hey, walk over this. Ah! Over the wall, right? There's just so many knockups available for this team, and not just knockups. Unbats has a jump. Neath has a jump. This Wheelix is such a baller 10th pick for the Banshees.
The only thing that is like decision paralysis, option paralysis. Like I'm a very indecisive person, so it's like being a kid in a candy store. You're like, what do I want? I got $10 to spend. My mom gave me for my allowance. And I can only get like the gummy worms or like the Sour Patch Kids. I'd get the Sour Patch Kids personally, but I like almost the idea of Layers really being very choosy with this ultimate. Sometimes the threat of it is almost as powerful as the actual ultimate, since it forces Hoonbots and Neath to change their approaches, right? I imagine this Hoonbots now probably wants to get a blink, because you do not want to use Somersault to disengage or engage. And that's risky, because if you have a blink and you're just kind of sitting on it, twiddling your thumbs, it's a useless relic and then you die. But at the same time, beads would be useful too. Oh, man. This is rough. Okay, so what's WOA's options in terms of how they get their get back? They still have great CC. They have great big circle CC. It just needs to come in the right order, because Hoonbots tries to separate everyone as Hecate tries to keep everyone close together for her open the gates. So the PEMDAS of this does matter a bit. You have some great sustain as well with your front line, Guan Yu and Mordred both. But outside of their ultimates, they definitely lack CC. So you're relying on this back line to definitely be strong enough that they can actually assist in kind of making sure that Guan Yu and Mordred aren't just shredded with impunity. Whereas Wailing Banshees, their game plan is very streamlined, but there's a lot of options it can take. It's CC into destruction.
A lot of CC and a lot of damage for this team as we get ready to make our way into game number 2. And it's kind of a blowout from the Banshees. They come out with a draft that looks pretty good, but instead of talking about the draft, let's talk about ourselves. My name's Moon Melos. I'm joined here by D-Lo, and our eyes in the sky is none other than the shark in the trees, the Nova Shark. And look at that little zoom in. They know they're here, walking it around, and look at how many aspects WOA have.
I'm glad to see stun bots. I don't think you're really relying, especially within a Wheelix, to keep you in check on yourself to do so much damage. Infused strikes come after every ability, but you're not going to be using that somersault too often, buddy, I promise you. So I like this. Extra CC, very easily applicable CC. You predicted this. We're seeing it. The aspect of wind here from the Neath makes her more of a typical ADC paired alongside this Guan Yu. But you know what stinks to be a Guan Yu as well? Paralyzing Spit interrupts your primary form of lane clear. Tal Assault is not going to be as effective as you want it to be.
We also picked Guan Yu into the Cerberus, right? So Kilken Candy certainly feeling pretty good with all the sustain that's going to come from the WOA side.
True.
And I got to ask, D-Lo, do you like this answer back after losing game 1 for WOA's comp?
It's good in some senses. Like, you're displacement immune, so you don't have to worry about the ultimate from a Cerberus, but Kaiveka's not in a similar spot. What a great Spirit Arrow, though. As far as the sustain, I'm glad that it's AoE. I appreciate that we can kind of take these battles of attrition. Wailing Banshees need to kill you in one rotation of kits. WOA are trying to make this death by 1,000 cuts. So it's all about whether WOA can make sure that they don't obey their baser instincts to just W key. You got to play this one patiently. I don't dislike it, but they have to play it correctly.
It's smart, play it correctly. That's the way to get things coming online. And overall, I'm wondering if we're going to have kind of an explosive start once again as Butt Lover takes a ton of damage. It's Jing Chen. He's here up on the stage, and I don't want to say in his home because I like him in the support role, but I mean, hey, looking pretty good in the solo lane right now.
Butt Lover could be in a bit of trouble here. This is a lot of damage. Phantom Shell forced out. They will stay alive. We saw this before. Butt Lover just under pressure, and then a gank came out. I wonder if we're going to see similar attention paid by the junglers to the solo lane, since like for the first 5 minutes, it's where all the ganks were present. One thing's for sure, though, these mids are not going to be rotating nearly as high frequency, because it's no longer a Giannis. It's a Kate and a Poseidon who are just kind of trying to farm up to 5 and then maybe see if they can full combo someone. But even those combos won't be super effective until later game. Here comes a Wheelix.
Wheelix coming over to the solo lane, jumps over.
Nice!
Knocked up to death. Layers gets first blood in this game. And, well, Nog is on his back camp, so not too much going to be happening there. So the Banshees, they get first blood, and it looks pretty good.
Dude, that was pitch perfect. Timer 1K is tanking the tower. And you got to imagine once you see the Xing Chen step up into the tower just to stare at you, you're like, gulp, something's about to happen. And indeed it did. Getting a kill in a Wheelix feels great, too. Here comes Killcam Kenny, stepping up pretty aggressively.
Breathing on him, but takes a bunch of damage in return. Kaveka letting some autos fly down on through, but both these duo laners are safe for now. Delvin making sure to keep his Kaveka nice and topped off with that conviction healing. And we saw it in that joust tourney, right? That guy does a lot of healing, but we'll stop talking about that as layers. What are you doing here,
Leave him
buddy?
alone.
No. What are you doing, buddy? No, bad. Someone get the spray bottle. Make this cat go back home.
Seems like I have to go to rocks instead. Spray bottle worked for now. Poseidon's going to make the rotation as well. Love this. Wailing, Banshees paying a lot of attention to the rocks. I'm pretty sure Woa got the first round last go-around. So this feels good. It's a change of pace. They say not even the early game is yours any longer. We're going to take it from here. Hoonbots in the meantime takes a trip over to the left side. It's a purple buff invade. It's a blue buff in trade. I think keeping down the Mordred is actually incredibly important, so I don't mind this one bit. Keeping the Jingwei also is, but again, this is a tank meta. Mordred, in fact, could be suffering another gank.
Oh, he's knocked up and pulled right back in. Butt Lover takes a ton of damage in tow, and oh no!
Nice!
It wasn't used in time, able to space that one out. We take a few tower shots. Timer 1K has to jump around, and Butt Lover is speedy enough to live for today. And you mentioned it. Look at Nog on the wrap around. He's daring them to step forward. And look at the Neath ultimate to stun, and Timer 1K. Here it comes. He's locked on out. Fear no evil means you're going to be falling on down as well. Nog picks up a kill, and Woa answer back in the solo lane.
Oh, wow. What amazing work. And now Hoonbots is actually looking for the Wheelix as well. We'll have to dive and concede her own blue buff. This is a massive turning point. Excellent work by Nog taking advantage of the overstep and miscommunication, or rather misspacing of that ability from the Xingqian. Damage on top of the Cerberus here, but are they going to be in trouble? Mini Delvin stepping up, but we'll decide to cede the pressure for now. Yeah, that's just unfortunate for Timer 1K. Out of range of the Whirlwind Rage and Steel, and then pass him properly. Continues to dive forward to wrap around for the blue buff, which, of course, gives a lot more time for the Hoonbots to rotate over. Bad news bears. I like the idea, just unfortunate execution.
A lot of dashes from Butt Lover, so he's like sneaky mobile, right? Mordred, known as a very sneaky mobile character. I say sneaky, he's not. He can go from A to B incredibly fast. And, well, Xingqian just doesn't have a long enough hook to pull him back in. So Woa, now, once again, tell me if this looks familiar. It's even Stevens for both of these teams. The gold lead is negligible at this point, and it's 1-1.
It does mean his Mordred is now ahead, which is really not what you wanted to see if you are a Wailing Banshees fan. Wheelix took some time to kind of pay some love to the left side, but didn't find too much. I'm just going to keep looking at Layer's diamond. That diamond's up, which means I want to see you gank someone in these side lanes because they're very vulnerable. Royal Rage and Steel on top of Butt Lover, they could be in trouble.
It's here hiding in the bush. Butt Lover, though, taking a ton of damage, and the rest of the Banshees are here in tow. Lair says, you're not getting away this time. I'll pick you up myself and get some rocks in tow. So the Banshees feeling pretty good on this right side, and once again, Nog went over to the left lane, but was unable to find anything of value.
Layers is such a pressure player, man. They have a blink as well. Good stun on top of Kaidan, but they got the Kraken to ward off anyone who tries to step up. And here comes the blink.
Layers blinks over the wall. Bacon is in trouble and jumped upon. That's a damage, but we have a Fear No Evil for now. Kaidan picks up Bacon, though, and now Nog is the one in trouble. We have the leap in time, and Kaveka has that World Weaver from across the pond. So no one else falls but Bacon.
Stay with me, kids. Pressure player. I talk about the blink. We see the blink. Thank you. That's some great visual learning here for the people who aren't the best with auditory. Nog, luckily able to escape. Their job's not to be the hyper carry for some of the stun bots. Again, their damage is nerfed, but they do need to make sure the rest of the team staying alive. Akate going down does not feel good. Trying to scale late. Has that Spear of Deso now, which is neato and such. You can see the Poseidon once again. Kaidan loves to really just go these cooldown spam builds. The issue with the Spear of Desolation is you can see that passive. Guess what? You need to get kills in order to actually get those cooldown benefits. So, kind of not looking good with that goose egg. That's okay. It's still early. Hecate will get better as the game continues. The issue is Layers is going to continue to snowball and get bigger and badder.
One thing that's interesting to me as well is Poseidon is a character that I typically correlate with big boom bursts. Like, I would expect these two builds for the mid laners to be swift, right? I would expect Kaidan to be going this Deso, but instead he's going for that tried and true. Looks like Chronos Pendant and a Soul Reaver is Butt Lover going for a little bit of a sneaky invade, and
Nice.
I believe he got it.
This Mordred could be a problem. 0-2. Does not seem to care all that much because this character's a bully. And this is a top lock that I feel a lot better about. Ritual mid pad is open. The 3v3 core is assembled. Who gets it?
Well, the Banshees are the first ones up to the block, and it's looking good their way. A double stun pulls Mini Delvin back to his team. And he's been flipped around. This guy's being juggled. Up on the horsey, though, gets a double stun, and Open the Gates has been doing a lot of damage. Mini Delvin falls on down. The Kraken claims another victim, and Nog is low on HP, but Lairs has been clipped by that ability, so he can't go back in. But all the meanwhile, the Banshees, they're still on the ritual, baby. They get it some gold and some XP in for their pockets.
All right, Bacon kind of was heat there. They did a lot of damage. Sadly, unable to kill because Akate's not late game, baby. I don't know. Maybe if you had a Chronos Pen, you could have used more abilities. Nah, I'm kidding. They did the best they could have. Opened the gates, hit the Poseidon. There was really good bees there from Kaidon. Excellent pause by someone. And even with AAA Vision, it just wasn't enough, despite hitting 2, to get any kills on top of Lairs or Kaidon, both. That being said, that was just rough. That was unfortunate. I think that Woa played that pretty gosh darn well, but Wailing Banshees just have so many ways to kill you. I feel like Woa are a bit more limited in that sense. Akate just doesn't have the consistency alongside the stun bots as an Awelix and a Poseidon do. And when this Awelix is 2-0, doesn't feel good. Especially when that Poseidon's 2 levels above you. Just realize that as well. There's a lot of things that are starting to kind of spool out of control. And the fact that Woa kind of had the same thing happen to them, even with an early game lead, Wailing Banshees not even granting them that luxury is definitely a sight for sore eyes.
I mean, how funny was it that Timer just picks up Mini Delvin, spins him around, throws him at Lairs, who goes, no, I want him here, and pulls him out of the sky and lands him back down. Unfortunately, this Guan Yu just got juggled around. But you mentioned it. It did look good on the back end side of it, right? He got on the horse, stunned, opened the gates, forced out a pair of beads. But unfortunately, the Banshees, their team fight is just so, like, front to back. It's so prominent for both of these teams. It's really hard for Woa to find an in at this point.
Wailing Banshees, it's not even front to back. It's like you were in back and now you're in my back because it's whirlwind ranges of steel. It's right. It's like a conveyor belt. We're just passing you from person to person. Like it's the nightmare blunt rotation and you're the blunt.
I'm just imagining like putting Mini Delvin on a factory line and every one of just the Banshees just hitting him with a hammer like bonk, bonk, bonk.
Yeah, for real.
Makes his way down, being processed throughout it here.
Puff Pass and Mini Delvin is just getting like, we're smoking that Mini Delvin pack. What you got? What strain is that? It's a Mini Delvin pack, bro. Try us out. It goes crazy. Gives you a lot of conviction. You can use that. Mini Delvin being a primary target also makes sense because you just don't want him to stick around. Again, Wailing Banshees kill you in one rotation of abilities. Woa want to kind of just hang around and be a thorn in your side for a bit. Once again, Mordred in trouble. We'll knock up one.
Pursues the weak. Phantom Shell has been used, and the World Weaver all the way from duo lane trying to spread some damage. Tiber 1K has a shell of his own, but he's been stunned on out, and the rest of Woe are here. But we got 2 jumps in our kit, so we're safe for now. Kaidon safe also outside of that open the gates. Bacon trying to get something started, but look at Killcam Kenny pulling him back in, and he's doing it again. Let's juggle the Guan Yu, baby. This is the Carnival. Puff, puff, pass. Delvin back to the gray screen.
Dude, he got Kraken while he was being Stygian and tormented. Got followed by Gravity Surge. That's like so messed up. That's like torture. Jesus Christ, what has this guy done? I know Mini Delvin's a cool guy. Like that's genuinely so uncool of Wailing Banshees. But man, what a beautiful chain of CC. Talisman might very. You see, Mode of Chaos. Dude's like, I need beads. I'm sick of y'all. I need beads.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Delvin just, he's like the juggle. He's like the ball in a circus here. The Wailing Banshees trying to keep this show on the road as they go to the Gold Fury. Kaveka is here, makes some presence known, but can't do much about it. The Banshees secure the first Gold Fury of the game, 10 minutes in, and they have a 3K gold lead as well for themselves, 5-1, and Woa gotta be careful because the more leave you give this team, they're gonna take it like an entire mile. The beads are forced out into Kaidon in the mid lane.
Lover could be in trouble as well, trying to pressure out this blue buff. Here comes Lairs.
Oh, it's the team on the way, and well, not just Lairs, but Kaidon and Tiber 1K as well. This Poseidon is on a killing spree. I'm sorry for judging your build, Kaidon. You don't have to keep proving me wrong here, as the rest of Woa step forward just to run back away.
That spot Lover just getting a bit too frisky. They've been getting some good blue buff invades. You have to recognize that the pressure is shifted. They're going to continue to shifted. Get it? It's going to continue to be a spotlight on your back until you kind of get humbled. And might be the same case here for me. Delvin, able to escape. The cripples from this Poseidon also cannot be underestimated, right? It's just a giant cripple field. And think about a Guan Yu, think about a Hoonbots, think about a Neath, think about a Mordred. They all want to dash. They want to move, baby. You can't. You're inside the rockin' waters.
Thinking about a lot of things here as the Banshees, just like staring at. Well, last game, we talked about how I look at you, you die. The Banshees, anyone looks at you, you're probably moving to our back line, and you die.
Butlover, no!
Very scary. Uh-oh. No. Butlover? What are you doing? No! He's been knocked up and juggled once again. The shell is good. He's trying to use the Pursue the Weak, but he picks up 2 instead and has a ton of healing for it now. And he's fine, but look at the rest of the team on the way. We put him in the washing machine. Leave this guy alone!
Love butts more. They said, I'm the real butt lover here. Bring that ass here. They take him out instantly. Wailing Banshees, man, are absolutely destroying the front line of WoA. And again, that's really bad because Butt Lover was the top pick. And it's for a good reason. Butt Lover's playing it well. It's just that Wailing Banshees are rotating and deathballing this man. Here comes a Pyromancer. Who gets it?
Oh, Kaidon secures it for the team. And once again, here comes Mini Delvin. Layers finds a Nog. But the Guan Yu, I mean, you're here, you're stuck, and we have a little getaway card, but you pulled Layers into the rest of the team, who just has to run back away. But look at the Xing Chen over from the jungle. Hey, he's been mezzed on out, but he wants to find not any more. The Banshees, they are terrifying at this point. In fact, WoA had somewhat of a good fight just there, but, I mean, they're still the ones on the back foot.
Back foot doesn't even begin to describe it, man. I don't know what their fight initiation looks like, because now Butt Lovers is really starting to fall behind. They have 2 shields. That's nice. One of them is shifters. Hold on, shifter shields check. Let's see how many. We got 2. We got 2 on one side. Ah, that's why they're losing. That's why they're losing, WoA. Come on, dude. Learn your lesson.
Listen, Delvin, pick one up. Come on. I promise it's good. Hey, come over to our side. Come get a shifter shield. Come on. You know you want to.
Good stats, baby.
You know you want to get it. Golden, though. Uh-oh. Look at the WoA. They're here on the way. Golden's been looked upon, but he has that airstrike ultimate, so he's not really in any danger. And in fact, doesn't even need to use it. So we looked for something at least.
Oh no, Butt Lover. Oh no. Anytime I see Layers on the right side of the map. Dude, oh god, this is about to be tragic. Oh, okay, we're good. We're good.
Layers let him by. I think Layers has the stream open, so he's listening to us being like, no, leave him alone, please. So Butt Lover gets to see another day. But anytime, like you mentioned, anytime Layers is on the right side of the map, I'll tell you what, my butt is clenched.
Butt Lover is definitely feeling something run through their posterior, just a tremble. They're like, up, Layers in the area. Gotta watch out. Maybe some wards would help. Genuinely, vision is useful, right? And we're finally seeing one of the solo lane side. Open the gates, comes out. No danger here. Here comes the Mordred.
It's time for Butt Lover to get active, and the rest of the team is on the way, pursuing the weak, looking for someone. Kaidon's beads have been forced on out. And, well, all the meanwhile, the World Weaver was eaten, and that's a 2-man Kraken knocked up, pulled back in. Butt Lover has to use the Fear No Evil to try and stay alive. But the rest of the team, Nog, he used it to save his solo laner, so he's dead in the rights. Picked up by Golden, and now the Banshees. It took a couple of ultimates, but we found one.
Kaidon got a shifter shield. It's over, dude. It's so over. It's 3 shifter shields. What are we doing? This Poseidon is clearly based on this build, not at all meant to one-shot, which is fine, because again, you have so many routes to damage. It's almost like the Kraken's another knockup to facilitate Layers, which is what it was in that instance. Didn't work for the kill, but still. Gold Fear coming up here. Wailing Banshee's gonna get that without any contestation. Yuck.
I'm looking at the builds here, D'Lo, and we're at 3 for now, but look at Layers and look at Golden. I think we're about to have 5 shifter shields in this game. And the Banshees, I mean, hey, if game 1 is any, like, idea of what shifter shield means to you,
nice.
Buy it, because it might win you a game, but look at WoA. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Pick up a Queen Naga for themselves, so not every objective going for the Banshees.
Pyromancer as well. Actually, Wailing Banshee's kind of dropping the ball here if they don't get this one on their own rights. Bacon will be able to secure it. Not too shabby. Kraken comes up. Pursue the weak.
Or pursue the weak straight into the open the gates. Pulls Kaidon back into the rest of the fight, but can you get the kill? Yes, you can. WoA have some life in them yet. Shut down onto the big Poseidon, but fear no evil. Nog trying to take down Layers, who has to jump over the wall for now to stay alive. Timer 1K, though. He found himself a monkey who forces the beads on out, but Timer taking more damage than he's dealing in turn. Land upon, and he falls. Xing Chen is off the map, baby, and Butt Lover, well, off the map as well. It's a solo laner for solo laner trade, but the Banshees are the ones who look all the worse for wear, and Lairs has been caught out now. So WOA, 4 members alive. It's 2 shutdowns.
The game has shifted once again. I do see 5 shifter shields have been built, but Wailing Banshees didn't have it during that fight, which is why they lost, clearly. No, the real issue was they just got kind of outplayed. WOA did a fantastic job pivoting around these objectives, and then Butt Lover says, screw you for ganking me. I'm going in. 0-5 does not matter to this player one bit. They're playing for the team. Love that. Butt Lover that. That being said, it was also Bacon off the back of that pursue the weak, able to get that open the gates right afterwards and pull in Kaidan, who's a very important enabler of the damage as well as the CC for Wailing Banshees. The rest of everything just falls right into place. Open the gates comes out, airstrike in response. WOA have gotten in.
WOA, they aren't afraid anymore. We've reached the point where Bacon is scary, and I'm trembling in my boots already. 2-1 on this Akate, and I'm expecting that to keep on a climbing, because these open the gates have just been good. You talked about the initiation in the early game. Where is it? Well, it's Butt Lover putting people in the sky, and then Bacon leaving a gate down to the bottom to pull them back to the rest of the team.
It's a really solid combination if you can find it. And Butt Lover, to be fair, has been kind of isolated, right? Again, much like the Jormungandr game, has just been kind of sticking to solo lane. But the party of Wailing Banshees has been brought to them. I don't think we've really seen a single gank, in fact, from WOA onto their side. So once this Mordred can link up with the other tools of the team, whether it be the Neath or the Kate, there's ways for this to work. The issue also has been these fights have, I feel like, been just very quick, which again does not lend to WOA's strengths as a team comp. So the longer these engagements are, the more prolonged and extended everything goes, the more we rely on poke than burst, the better things start to look for WOA. As we enter the later stages of the game, it becomes a bit more ticky-tacky, right? It becomes a bit more about dances. Needs in trouble, though.
Kaveka gets pulled right back into Lairs' loving arms. Golden takes that one out back. So Kaveka, for the first time this game, taken off the board, and the rest of the Banshees positioning around a Gold Fury that is not here. At this point, they're just looking for picks.
And why not? This team comp is so good as 5 and also as 2s. Can really just kind of pair up, get your accountability buddy, and just kill someone. Could be the case here for Kate, in trouble.
Lair spots out Bacon. He goes, I'm hungry. Come here. Come here. I want to knock you up, and I want you to pull you over here, and I want to kill you. But Bacon plays a bit smarter than that, so instead they're just going to let this tier 1 tower fall on down. And listen, Dila, we're 19 minutes into this game, and, well, Nog might not be in this game much longer. Has the stun back on out in turn, and a double shell. Fear no evil. We're playing it good. Has to jump over the wall, but he's being chased on down. Lairs picks up a Nog, and now the Banshee's still running it down, finding kills.
Great Stygian Torment response there to the staff slam, so no CC will hit their head, but God is certainly in trouble once they're lifted up into the skies. Yeah, it's just rinse and repeat. Laundry machine, baby. Keep on washing down anyone who gets caught out by these 2s and 3s of the Wailing Banshees. It's just rough. It's rough stuff. And there's a Pyromancer now to argue over. It seems that Wailing Banshees are going to try to stake their claim to it.
Banshees, in fact, are making it go down pretty fast. I mean, Bacon was nowhere near to try and steal that one away, but look at Timer. Still being the ever-loving nuisance that a Xing Chen can be. Aren't you happy this guy's here? Because he knocks you up, pulls you over the wall. Mini Delvin has the horsey for the stun, and a heal on the back end side of it, but Timer 1K is still running him down. Kaveka letting some arrows fly on through, and that's a ton of damage, though. We don't find a kill, but it looked good.
Yeah, again, pronounced and prolonged. Just keep Mini Delvin up. Look at that health. Oh, the health bar's going up because they're in Fountain. Still, it would have been close if it was Conviction, too. Kaveka's going to take a hand to this Gold Fury. There are members around, though, to contest.
He does a lot of damage. He already pulled it down to about half HP. I guess that's why you go the Sunbeam Tearfing build. And in fact, we're looking for more on the back end side of it. Nog steps forward, but Butt Lover is here as well. Not looking for the Gold Fury anymore, but instead for the fight on the back end side of it as it's been unleashed. 4 members of WOA are here, but Timer 1K in the back line. Here comes the Kraken, does damage in tow.
No!
And we're spinning to win, baby. Golden finds himself a Bacon, and the Wailing Banshees are the first one to pick up a kill in this fight. But what can you get on the back end side of it? Lairs has been stunned on out, but Golden finds Kaveka. That's a double kill for the Jingwei. Kaidan takes down Nog. They're on a rampage going down. Double kill for Kaidan. 4 members of WOA dead, and Mini Delvin hobbles back to base.
The medic's the only one able to get out since it seems that Wailing Banshees don't want to violate any Geneva Conventions just yet, but they might as well be. They are just going disgusting with this composition. Amazing wraparound from Timer 1K. Waits for beads to be burned off the back of Kraken, and then just goes buck wild with that Whirlwind of Rage and Steel. A third Gold Fury the way of Wailing Banshees, a near deicide. You can't ask for better than that.
Looks incredibly good for the Banshees. 21 minutes into this game, 16-4. And hey, shifter shield check, baby. All 5 for every member of their team. It looks good, it feels good, and hey, gives you a 9K gold lead. This team, it's hard to beat.
Man, it really is. We see that Mode of Chaos became, by the way, a shell rebuke, right, for this Guan Yu. And that means they got a pair of Selfish Beads. I know it's not common, but I really do wonder if a Talisman would have been wiser here, because everyone needs it. Everyone. There's no exception. You have to use Talal Assault, which means you're going to be exposed to these Stygian Torments, right? That's going to come up first. Stygian Torment's not going to be used likely until we see a lot of these displacement immunity abilities going down, because Killcam Kenny's smarter than that. So that means Mini Delvin's exposed. The fact that we're playing, like, yes, of course, you're a selfless healer, but you also might need to be a selfless peeler. And that means getting these talismans. I think it's cost them, because look at these relic cooldowns. They're all at the same time, because Woa is going to get just absolutely grouped up and then slaughtered. And that means Wailing Banshees know exactly when they can start another fight, what the threshold is. It's right now, baby. Kaveka's in trouble.
There's Blinks on in. Kaveka has been spotted on out. Bye-bye, Kaveka. 1 member down for Woa. And, well, might be a little bit more. Mini Delvin falls down. Kaidon picks that one up as well. And Timer 1K is the only one whose health bar looks even a little bit weakened. And that guy has a ton of HP 5 in tow. The rest of the Banshees, though, walk on back to that little fire giant. It's time for another skirmish. We hit this, maybe you'll come up and fight us. It's fallen down to about half HP. Bacon has already let the gates open upon them. Timer taking a ton of damage, but all the meanwhile, he's just playing guard duty, but oh no, Nog is here, we have the monkey, and Kenny is able to secure the fire giant for the Wailing Banshees. We're all knocked up, but can you get the kill on the back end side of it? Butt Lover can't, because he's already dead to Kaidon's prying hands. The Banshees, 5 members have fire giant, and 3 members are dead for Woa.
Man, like, it was a good attempt. You had to try, I suppose. It's just so unfortunate that it was Butt Lover who led the charge and didn't really have the backup there of the back line, because Timer 1K did such a good job of zoning off the rest. Pyromancer goes down to Wailing Banshees. All 5 fired up. Still every tier 2 available, so tons of more global gold to go into pocket here. It's just bad news bears. Woa don't have the worst anti-siege comp because they have this Fear No Evil. The issue is I just don't feel like it's being followed up on properly. I don't think we have the damage even to get through all the tank that Wailing Banshees have. They're doing so much damage, and they are all building Shifter Shield. It's a meme, but it's also not a meme, because it genuinely means that 1 rotation of a kit, even 2, is not going to kill even a backliner.
I mean, also, just look at the difference between Nog's and Lair's build. Nog has 3 items. Lair's is working on his 5th. Right? That's just such a discrepancy between these two, unfortunately, that Lair's just able to run the map. And, you called it, the rest of the Banshees, they spot themselves at Kaveka. Can you try and run away? We're going to do some waves, you know, but uh-oh. Stygian Torment means you're just going to go up to your death. Bye-bye, Kaveka.
Raptured. Rough stuff. Rough stuff for this Neep. Can't be up too far. Kaveka's a big, important hope as well of the damage. We talked about that Sunbeam bow build. And now it's offline. Don't really have any shred for the tanks. Certainly looking for the Sakate, who did build a Shifter Shield. Can't beat him, join him. But it might be a bit too late. Should have hopped on the wave when it's low price. Now everyone's scalping them.
You know, it doesn't look as good whenever you have to build it from, well, almost like, what, 12k behind? But Wailing Banshees don't care about that. They want this tier 2 tower. It's going to fall down pretty easily. And now positioning for another fight around this duo Phoenix. It's gonna fall down pretty fast.
Akate, we can kind of use you here, buddy. Could really use you. Oh, you're gone.
Knocked up, pulled back into the team, pursuing the weak, though. Able to get out, so Butt Lovers lives to see yet another day, and Nog on the back end side of it has that Fear No Evil, and we find a Timer 1K. That's a ton of damage, but Kaidon picked up a Mini Delvin, and Golden is in the sky looking for a little bit more. The bird, though, still alive. for much longer, able to get that one, but Lover found himself a timer, and this Mordred is online trying to find another kill, but he's being juggled in the back line, and the dagger is good. Killcam Canny is back up to full HP, baby. 2 members dead for Woa, and, well, scratch that. Let's make it 3. Kaveka has been found in the mid lane. Kaidon picks that one up, and the rest of the Banshees might as well make it 4 if Bacon falls on down and Nog gets pulled back in. You can't jump away, baby, because the Banshees are knocking on your door and winning game number 2.
Undefeated, baby. Gon gets the consolation kill from the grave, but we all know the end result. Wailing Banshees find the deicide, they find the better composition, get him rolled up inside that blunt and smoked. Woa are out of this one, and sadly, now bear an L on their record.
And no, you can't be undefeated forever. Unless maybe you're the Wailing Banshees. Now, they're 3-0 in this series. And I tell you what, D'Lo, I'm shaking in my boots. They looked incredibly good. They might just be top 1 seed here. But let's talk about this game that just happened, right? Butt Lover got sat on, did not have a great time here. And I mean, the rest of the Wailing Banshees, they were just playing, hey, I want this person to be CC'd for about 10 minutes straight.
More shifters equals more wins, Kaiveka says in the post-game chat, and I've got to say that about checks out for me. Yeah, the CC chains were phenomenal, dude. And not only because of what your team's drafted, but I do think that's definitely the majority of the credit, but also, of course, what your enemies drafted. That Awilix back pick, 10th pick, brilliant. I love me Alair's Thor, but I also love me a counter pick that just so brilliantly foils the strategies of the enemy. There are moments where things really looked good. I really did like that audacious Naga into Pyro Pole, into the fight afterwards. Fantastic. But, man, this Guan Yu's got abused. Just got abused, man. Mini Delvin, minuscule Delvin, like, just did not have a presence in this game whatsoever. After getting passed hand to hand like a rag doll. Just had no agency whatsoever. And not only is that just like good gameplay, good in terms of the stats, it hurts mentally. It really stinks when you just cannot play. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! Modern. Just floodgate after floodgate after floodgate. I'm sorry. I'm going to draw 3 cards. You can't play the game for another 10 minutes. Please wait your turn.
The Banshees make it look incredibly good and convincing, able to win this set in a 2-0 fashion, hold on to their undefeated status, but not the end of it here for OSL action today. That's the end of it for the stream, but we got some more at 6 p.m. over on the Olympus Smite channel. So, got some more action for you, those who are interested to see some Thebes domination. But I've been Moonmellows, and D'Lo, you have anything last to say?
Thank you all very much for watching. Loyal, obedient viewers, hope you've enjoyed this series. Been a good time. Stick around for more.
I've been underestimated, but I survived and became strong.